Greetings, my people of the tarot. Now, if you haven't seen a previous video, I've changed my channel name to Wandering Wild Woman. There will be banners and new stuff coming up soon, but Jaxson will still be a star of that. So, I got a new tarot deck. I got the Crow Tarot. And let me tell you guys, I never cut a deck so fast in my life. I was like, this is too big. It is getting this snips. Crows and ravens have been very special to me for a long time throughout my life. I kind of inherited it from my mother. They have come very strongly into my life right now. So that's why So now I got two crow ravens. I got a Raven's Prophecy, and I got the Crow Tarot. So tonight we're working with the Crow Tarot for the week ahead, from this Friday the 13th till the following Friday. So I already did the layout, so you wouldn't have to listen to all of that. And Jaxson is wound up. He started getting raw meat, and he seems to have a little bit more energy, even within 2 days. Interesting. So we start in the center, and we have the Queen of Swords. Let me see how that goes. That looks good, right? So we have the Queen of Swords. We know the Queen. You know, this is kind of like the air and water signs mixed together, the elements of air and water. To me, that's the way I see queens. So we have to watch our emotions, and what we are saying this coming week is going to be very important, because what we speak, he's wound up, because what we say has a lot of importance this week. That's just an intuitive feeling that what we speak, what we put forth this week, even though it's a waning moon, has a lot of weight on the next couple of months. Now, in the element of air sector, we have the Seven of Swords. And the swords, we know all about creativity, passion, ambition, impulsiveness. And this is a very defensive position, isn't it? So in our minds, we must, like I said, be careful what we say, because in our minds, we are in a defensive position. And I think that has a lot to do with what is going on in our world. So I think it's right to be very cautious, very defensive of what we are putting out there, what we are saying, what we are speaking. This reinforces it, doesn't it? Now, in the fire position, and the way I lay it out, the fire position is on the bottom, because to me, that drives the whole reading, because that's what fire is about. It's about driving things. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So things are going to go up and down. And it's all going to matter on what we are saying, what we are putting out. Not because sometimes it's what we don't say, right? What we don't say really matters. So be very cautious of that. So the wheel is about fortune. What comes up goes down. What comes up to the surface can be released and let go. So remember that too. That's something, especially being in the fire sign. It can be about release. I've never seen my dog hyper after he eats. He usually goes to bed. So I think it's a fresh, raw food. But that's good. I want him to be that way. He's being so silly right now. Now he's got to make his bed, which is probably going to the dump because he shredded it. So, putting some fire in the wheel, I think is going to make things happen quickly. So that's why we need to be defensive. I'm not going to redo it because of the dog. He's part of my life. I love him dearly. So in the West, we have Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups can be all about creativity. It's a youthful exuberance of the emotional sector, isn't it? So, and to me, especially when it's sitting in the west, it's about dreams. So what are we dreaming? It's very important to remember what we are dreaming this week. Jaxson, excuse me. He's getting... Excuse me, Jaxson. Thank you. He's settled down. So back to the reading. So I see a lot of creativity because I know a lot of you out there that are seeing this have the Everyday Witches Tarot. And I love the interpretation of this card because when we really play, and really page is about play, right? Youthfulness. When we play with our emotions, it can get really messy. So when we create, we can get messy. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. So I'm really seeing a lot of caution in this layout of what we are creating, what we are saying, what we are dreaming. Bring stuff up to be released. It's a waning moon. That's always a good time to bring things out that need to be released. Because on the top, we have the Chariot. So we got, let's do the line here. So this is at the bottom in the fire position. This is the center, which represents us as a collective. And then we've got on the top, the Chariot. And so to me, that's all about movement. So bringing things up to the surface so it can be released. I love the way the bird is flying away. So what we speak and what we feel is very important, that we release what no longer serves us. I know that's a cliche, but this is what I'm really seeing in this particular reading for this week coming up. See, Jackson's getting rid of his blanket. He's ripping it to shreds. So I'm going to take a cue from him. That blanket's no longer serving him. It's a mess. He can't find a place to get comfortable. So that tells me it's time to release that blanket. So in the foundation of the issue, we have the Five of Pentacles. So I think this has a lot to do with what is going on in our collective reality now. People are not feeling stable. There's a lot of disruption. And there's a lot of talking. And crows can, especially the crows, they can really represent a lot of chit and a lot of chatter. And I think my dog was really reflecting that. But the message from Spirit, which is so apropos too, is the Ace of Pentacles. We have all the possibilities to feel stability, even in a world of chaos. Because this can represent the chaos that's going on in the world right now. And I kind of wanted to touch on that anyway, but the cards are really reflecting it. We have the resources, and we have it within us to have what we need. We have all the possibility to get rid of those clouds. Those are clouds, aren't they? Yes. Well, I can we can rise above all the clouds. We can rise above all the doubt, all the chitter-chatter that's going on right now. So in other words, don't worry about it, because things will happen quickly. Lightning came up again. If you remember last week's reading, lightning was in there too. And lightning is kind of like the Eight of Wands, isn't it? Things will happen quickly. It clears the air. It brings in a lot of negative ions, which is great for everybody, right? After a lightning strike, that really energizes the earth. It energizes the everything. So when we speak our truth and we speak from our hearts, sometimes that can bring chaos, but also it can clear the air. So I think that's what I want you to take away from this reading, is even though chaos comes about, it's like lightning. It can be nourishing. Chaos can definitely clear the air. It's like the tower. Things seems like it's breaking down and all this, and breaking down communications, breaking down travel, breaking this all down for the good to come in, for the lightning to bring back that renewal of all those negative ions. Many blessings from me and Jaxson. Much love. Remember to get out there and be within the wild, whether that be the wild outside or the wild within yourself.